Ma, Rocketman and T-34 all coming up next on the blog rundown. And we're going to kick off the show, John, with a written review coming in from Philip Henry. This is from 2019 and is Ma. This is directed by Tate Taylor and stars the likes of Octavia Spencer, Juliette Lewis and Diana Silvers. Now, I know you've seen this film, John. I actually missed it on its theatrical run, so I have to wait for this to come out on Blu-ray before I see it.
No, I don't know whether you're a big horror fan or not, Stephen. I don't think we've ever really discussed it, but if you're a big horror fan, then perhaps you maybe missed something. But as Phil does say in the review, it's not an out-and-out horror by any means. It's got sprinklings of horror elements within there, but in the most part it's a sort of a psychological, allegorical telling of this slightly crazed woman. I don't think you missed much, Stephen, I've got to be honest. I spoke about the movie, I thought it was okay. Phil actually discusses this early on in his review, where he says that some people had perhaps spoken to him and says that the trailers gave away the vast majority of the plot and whatnot.
Well, I get that for you,
I can agree to an extent, but there's certain elements within the actual main movie which were left out of the trailer. Most importantly, the actual whole plot itself, about what was driving Ma to do what she was doing, that wasn't really conveyed in the trailers.
No.
But the feel of the movie and just what the hell was going on, you have to do it. It's a difficult balance in
the
it.
The vibe I got from the trailer, John, was it had that sort of misery vibe from it. Sadly, from what I hear, it's not up there with the likes of Misery anyway. But I still think I'll give it a bash. I think I've got to see this one for myself to make my own judgment on it. But you're right. I think that was the vibe I got from the I think it was only one trailer. I can't remember if it was one or two.
I think it was a couple, but I think we only reacted.
It kind of gave you most of the plot and where the story was going. And as you said, it didn't really give you the reasons why Ma acted the way she did. But obviously, in Philip's review, she's quite a tragic figure by all accounts. Yeah,
he says that in his review. He goes into great detail about other movies which have perhaps humanised the monster figure in a movie. Maybe not humanised, but you connect with them in a way, in some part. You can understand what's driving them to do it. It's almost like Avengers, Stephen, in a lot of ways. Thanos was this monstrous figure, obviously snapped half the universe out of existence. And strangely, you could understand his reasons. He had sort of a noble reasons for doing it, in his mind anyway. Obviously, he was creating more space so people could prosper, the different races could prosper. It's the same here. Phil's example is actually King Kong back in 1933. He says that he also connected with that moment where he falls off the Empire State Building, and it's the same here. They definitely do try to pull at the heartstrings with old Ma, also played by Octavia Spencer. She is a tragic figure. She's obviously, I don't know if you want me to spoil it.
Yeah, it's fine, it's okay.
She essentially gets bullied at school.
Yeah, it does say that in the review, to be fair.
Psychologically scars her, and she goes off, and it's obviously in fast forwards in time. It's a young girl comes to town with her mother. She's trying to settle in. She finds a group of cool kids, and they end up going out and drinking. They try to find a spot, try and get drink bought for them first and foremost. They bump into this woman. She seems like a very nice and kind and genteel spirit. And then obviously as the movie goes forward, you see that she's actually not what she's projecting out. She's darker, more sinister undertones bubbling away underneath the surface. In terms of, as he says about the actual monster vibe, she's certainly, as I did say, she's got the bullying thing going on there, but I never really connected with the character, Stephen. I said that to you before we came on. It wasn't a character which I felt sorry for at all. I thought she got a comeuppance at the end. I didn't shed a tear. She's just a woman that was tying guys up in her bedroom. Now I understand that Luke Evans, that was incidentally his character, he had some connection with the bullying and whatnot. The young girl who's met up with these new groups of people at school and is obviously using her basement as a partying zone. Her mother was involved in the bullying, so it's all interconnected. I understand what they were trying to do, but I never really cared about the character. I can understand what Phil says. They do try to make that connection. There is elements which I do connect on a some level, I suppose. It's maybe.
Does it show you any flashbacks, John, to the bullying?
There was a couple of flashback sequences. Obviously, of being humiliated in the school foyer. But Octavia Spencer, just an incredible actress, and what a job she does here. Phil touches upon that in his review. He says that she really does make the movie perhaps better than some of its parts. I'm obviously not reading word for word here, I'm obviously putting words into his mouth, but he essentially discusses her performance and says it is a fantastic role again for her to get her teeth into a very different role, Stephen, because this is a woman that usually does kind and happy spirits, historical figures like in Hidden Figures and whatnot. This is the first time I've seen her tackling an antagonistic figure, and once again shows her great range. She does a great job as playing this unhinged character. Phil says she does mirror elements of Misery in a Hitchcock movie.
There is a film coming up, John. We did a trailer reaction. For the life of me, I can't remember what the trailer reaction was, but she was obviously one of the main stars in the film, and she's playing something very similar, I think. I can't remember what the film was.
I know what you're talking about. It was a young guy gets fostered, and she's the teacher. And she has to, it's kind of a playing the two off, who's telling the truth.
So it's good to see that she's, I don't want to say branching out, because we always knew that she was capable of doing that anyway. She's just a fantastic actor. But from what I gather from yourself, John, and from Philip's review, it's a film that it's probably underwhelmed a lot of people. I think sometimes when, and I've said this before about horror, this is more horror thriller, I would say, but a lot of trailers for horror have to show you the best bits to pull you in, and sometimes that does obviously reveal a lot of the plot. In this case, obviously we don't get the backstory of the bullying or anything like that, but you know, you don't have to be that clever to work out that, you know, there's obviously a purpose and a reason for our motives. And that would be the first one that would come to my mind, would be the bullying, you know. That's why I asked you, because I think it's very important to connect with your audience for her reasons, for her actions. And given those flashbacks, I don't know how hard hitting they are, whether or not it's in the sort of same level as the likes of Carrie, that, you know, that kind of you know, reaction from her treatment. But I'll still give it a bash. You know, it's a film, from the moment I did see the trailer, it did intrigue me. I know that obviously it didn't really hit home yourself, John. Phillips gave it quite a fair review, I think, as well.
He has.
But I think I'm going to have to see this one before I make a judgment on it.
No, but what he does say, Stephen, and I absolutely agree with him, is that this movie's trying to almost flip the gender role, where you've got this set vision in your mind of the male figure being traditionally the evil guy, and you just expect that. Then the woman's the more trustworthy and nice person, but they flip that here. They try to change it up, and he's maybe pondering, is this something we're going to see more and more from Hollywood, changing the traditional roles? The female can sometimes be this dark and crazed figure. Certainly there is a lot of allegorical themes in here that they're actually trying to tackle. Obviously it's Blumhouse, first and foremost, it's a Blumhouse production. We know they do various different types of movies, Stephen. It's usually low budget affairs. This movie was mostly shot in interior sort of settings, mostly in her basement in actual fact. That is. And they really do tackle some interesting things that I wouldn't expect in a Blumhouse horror movie. Just the impact of bullying, the psychological effects, the long-term damage it can do to people. And as Phil does say, this is predominantly a sort of a teen date movie. So it's a very noble thing to try and push this into the mindsets of younger demographics. That, look, you can't do this. This will have long-lasting effects on people's mentality and stuff like that and their psyche. So that was noble. My dog agrees down the stair. He agrees it was noble. He's absolutely loved this movie. Not so much me, Stephen. But look, it is what it is. I enjoyed the review. I thought it was a fantastically written review. It's got Octavia Spencer. That's always a positive. It isn't the worst movie I've ever seen. Certainly the critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 55%. They rated it rotten by an absolute sliver. The audience gave it a 64% rating. But look, I thought it was okay. I didn't think I'd wasted my money going to see it. I like a good horror movie. This wasn't an out-and-out horror. Without repeating myself, as I did say, it had psychological elements in there, and that's really all I can add. It was okay.
Is it one you would revisit, John?
No.
Fair enough. But we'll move on now to our next review. It's coming in from the movie couple. It is Rocketman from this year, and this is directed by Dexter Fletcher, starring the likes of Taron Egerton, Jamie Bell and Richard Madden, John. Yes, Stephen, this is obviously the Taron Egerton-led Elton Hercules John biopic movie. We both seen this movie. We both really enjoyed it. Obviously, the movie couple, having read through the review, this is perhaps one of the most positive reviews to date. They both get great sort of a vibes out of it. Mrs. Movie couple, also Elizabeth, big fan of Broadway. She pondered a very intriguing question or idea, I want to say at the end of the review. Could we see this movie being converted into a Broadway musical? I think we could. I think it would work very well. I thought the musical elements were fantastic, the way that they utilised his childhood and the fantastical settings of his mind to convey up and conjure up all these you can
musical
certainly
things.
interpret those visuals as well into, you know, stage as well. Obviously they wouldn't be the same, but you know, one of the things that really stood out about this film was its visuals, the sort of transitions from scene to scene, especially, you know, I think it's I think it's Jerry that mentions it very early on in his review as well. You know, from a kick-off, it just pulled him in the way that they, you just went right into his sort of early childhood from that scene. You know, it doesn't actually mention it in the review, but I think it's a scene with them, you know, marching into the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
You know, his childhood home. So yeah, I think it's a very good review as well from both of them. I always enjoy the movie couples reviews because we get two perspectives. In this case, they're very similar because they highly rate this film. I think it's probably the highest rated film that they've reviewed so far. So
yes, Stephen. In terms of actual performances in it, you can't really speak about this without speaking about Mr. Egerton. They have both been singing his praises. Yeah. What a sort of a triumvirate, I want to say trifecta maybe, performance it was, just singing, dancing and acting. The guy has obviously got roots in stage, he does know how to sing. I've seen him on the likes of, I think it was Graham Norton or whatnot with Hugh Jackman, and he knows how to sing, and this really does showcase all of these talents that he's got in this movie perfectly. He's hitting the notes beautifully, he does all the singing numbers himself. You can tell it's not as good as the original, not quite, but it's a very difficult role to step in, it's very big shoes. I thought he was incredible, and they do rightly say if he didn't fit the role well, if it didn't really pay off his performance, the whole movie would have crumbled as a result. But it didn't. It was fantastic. He took it on his shoulders and he rocked with it. And you've got the likes of Richard Madden in there as well, and a whole host of other people, Stephen, that just fit perfectly into all the various different roles. He's obviously playing this backstabbing, using, manipulative manager figure. But that great moment, I can't remember the song we screwed up the first time we spoke about it, but it's a whole cast ensemble performance. I think it's in a nightclub.
I think it's the one, the Robert Downey Jr.
I Want Love.
I Want Love,
that was beautiful.
It's a good song as well, John. It's a very powerful song. But one of the other things that I picked up in Jerry's side of the review as well was that the songs are out of sequence of release date. Something that I picked up on when I went to see the movie as well was that they didn't do it in sequence. But the reason for that is because every song fits into the narrative perfectly. I felt like that anyway, and it didn't really matter they were out of sync. We were getting some more modern hits at the beginning, you know, and some older stuff as the story unfolded near the end. So that didn't bother me so much. Yeah,
and purely because it was being told through the spectrum of this older, sort of a troubled Elton John who was in the Alcoholic Anonymous group, and he's going back through his life and telling them all the various highs and lows and what was going on here, there, and everywhere to this group, and then he's obviously utilising older music, as you did say, and more modern music to convey the various different things that happened. One of my favourite sequences, Stephen, was the Rocketman sequence, where he's obviously popping pills, he's drinking, I think it was vodka or whatnot, and then ends up falling into the pool. It turns full fantastical. He's got the younger version of himself playing piano in the pool. He's getting jabbed in the neck with needles and getting rushed onto stage. Just the powerful message that was conveying to the audience, that the show must go on no matter what. The mental side of this guy, the physical side, he was being used from all corners. And then just at the end, the fact that he just says screw it, walks out of a Madison Square Garden performance and goes home and goes to this Alcoholic Anonymous group and just gets his shit in order. That was fantastic. Just all the various demons coming out almost in physical form, but they weren't really. At the end, where he's going to manage a figure of younger self, and that's him basically come to terms with his life.
I think that's what that song was. I think it came out in about 2001, John, the one Justin Timberlake did the video for. This Train Don't Stop There Anymore. I think that was sort of, if you ever watched the video for that, it's actually very reminiscent of the story, the way it plays out in Rocketman, you know, what he went through and where he is now. But it's such a powerful story. It was something that took me by surprise because there's a lot of things I didn't really know about Elton John as a person, only as a performer. I think we spoke about the comparisons between that and Bohemian Rhapsody. Personally, John, I think both of us got more out of Rocketman than we did for Bohemian Rhapsody, although Bohemian Rhapsody was a more successful film.
Stephen, the final things that I'll add is obviously the performances of the likes of Dallas and Bryce Howard, who's obviously playing the mother figure. Just the powerful messages again. They're trying to hit home through the beauty of the music and whatnot, just about homosexuality and the way it's viewed in today's society compared to the past. He's sitting at that table in the restaurant with his father-in-law and his mother, and they're just treating him with contempt. We want another house. I've had to put up with all of this crap. Basically saying his sexuality is causing them no ends of trouble and bother throughout their life. And just the way the world's changed, I thought that was beautiful, the way they're highlighting it, and it just shows you the amount of progress we've made up until the current day. So that was beautiful. They utilised some great themes in there in amidst this great retelling of a great man's story. I can't recall the chap. I think it was Bell. I can't recall his first name that played
Jamie.
Jamie Bell that played the songwriter companion to him. He was fantastic as well. He was almost a young to Elton John. They went up into the stratosphere in terms of fame, he went off and became used with all these various different figures, and he went the opposite direction, went back home and opted for the quieter life. So that was beautiful. I liked those performances. Lots of great performances, brilliant utilisation of the music, some amazing visuals, and just the editing in general. I just thought it was a great film, and I completely agree with the review, as you did say, beautifully written once again.
Yeah, John, we'll move on to our final review this week. We're doing 3 this week to try and catch up with things, guys. We're well behind, but we will get there. It's T-34 from 2018. This movie review, it's a Blu-ray movie review. It's coming in from DM Anderson, and this film is directed by Alexei Sidorov, who also wrote the film, and it stars the likes of Alexander Petrov, Vincenzi Kiefer. There's a whole list of names there I can't pronounce, I'm afraid. This is a Russian film, John. It's a war film, I would like to say it is anyway. It's more of a rarity in modern war films. So this is a film that once we read this review, John, it was certainly something that intrigued us. I actually made a flippant remark. It's a World War II road movie. Because it did have that vibe off it,
Yeah, I'm very much intrigued by it. Just the cat and mouse chase that Dave's conjured up in my mind reading the review. Obviously, you've got Vincent Kiefer. I don't know this chap very well, Stephen, but he's playing obviously the villainous figure. But as Dave does say, the movie doesn't really have a villainous figure. Because this guy's got nothing but admiration for the Russian chap in it, whose name eludes me at the moment, Nikolai Ivushkin, I want to say it is, played by Alexander Petrov. He's this dogged Russian tank commander who destroys an entire squad of German tanks during a skirmish. He then gets captured, hides his identity, he's ready to be executed, and then this German guy lets him out and tries to do this sort of a subterfuge mission to retrieve this T-34 tank. He discovers live ammunition, as it does say in the review. I'm giving an absolute word-for-word synopsis of the movie because I've not seen it, Stephen. But yeah, I digress. They end up going off in this chase. He breaks out, and also this German commander, Klaus Jäger, throws everything at him to try and get him. It sounds very intriguing. I don't believe it's based on a real story. It's not saying anything about biopic, so it's just a fanciful sort of retelling of perhaps a book or something, I don't know, but it's a Russian release, as you did say.
Do you agree with Dave's, I think it's his last paragraph, where he says the T-34 is a welcome throwback to the World War II movies Hollywood used to crank out before getting all serious and self-important on us?
Well, Stephen, I don't know, because I haven't actually seen the movie, but yeah, I can completely understand what he's saying, but he's saying it's harkening back to the more light-hearted, almost glorification of the setting. But it didn't glorify it, but you know what I mean? It wasn't
like The Great Escape, films like that,
they weren't getting bogged down with all these like metaphorical messages and satire and allegory and whatnot, try to hit home hidden messages whilst telling this viscerally violent sort of a superficial level story. They were more simple back then. It was just about missions that happened, operations and whatnot, and they just told a good story with a whole host of star power.
You're not getting bogged down with all the politics and all those hideous crimes that were happening in the background.
That goes back to almost conjured up images of The Great Escape for him, so that's something that's supposed to.
And The Great Escape for me, it was one of the things that I did like about that film was the simplicity of it. We didn't need long, hard explanations on how bad the Nazis were. We knew who the bad guys were, and the characters as well, the characters throughout that film we could relate to. They were all different characters that served different purposes. I get that same vibe from this film T-34 as well.
Yeah, Stephen, as you know, I'm a big fan of World War II. I've seen a lot of World War II movies. I like the variation of each individual movie, be it a historically accurate movie or just something that's been made up in a director or a producer or a writer's mind. Just the fact you can alter the size of a scale depending on what you're going for. You can have these really quiet, intimate settings like Downfall, the Sophie Shaw one that I reviewed, which was a great little, very small budget foreign language one.
I reviewed. It was a certain mission. I can't remember what it was, but it was
I think you reviewed The Man with the Iron Heart. Perhaps the other one.
I can't remember what it's called.
About Reinhard Heydrich.
I'm
not so sure.
I can't remember the name of it though.
What was the other one? I think there was two. I think it was the Jason Clarke one you reviewed. I can't recall that one. I've not seen that one. I've seen The Man with the Iron Heart though. But Stephen, it's just that the whole myriad of different things you can do with World War II settings. Also the likes, as I did say, Sophie Shaw. You've got Land of I think it was The Land of Mine. It was a great Danish one.
Yeah, it was a great film.
Here again, we're seeing it from a different sort of a perspective. It's a Russian telling. I don't think I've ever seen a Russian World War II movie, Stephen. We've seen Stalingrad, but even that was from the German perspective. And I like to see them utilising different sort of perspectives in these movies. We've seen a lot of US sort of takes on the stories of World War II, British takes, even German. So I'd be very intrigued, even though it's not based on a real story, to see this, just see this interesting character. I really enjoyed, I think it was Fury, the Brad Pitt movie. That was a tank commander movie with fantastical settings. There was real operations going on, but it wasn't based on real guys and real stories. I think that had the likes of Shia LaBeouf and whatnot in there.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. So this is right up my street. I've really enjoyed the review from Dave once again. He's always concise and straight to
one of the things that I always get from Dave's reviews is when it is the Blu-ray ones, they intrigue me enough that I have to seek these out, because certainly in this case, Anthropoid was the name of that film, John. Fantastic film. Cillian Murphy's in it as well. But I'll certainly be seeking this one out based on this review, because it's something that's right down my street as well. Something that I studied in school. From my highers was obviously history, and and it was based on that time period as well. It just intrigues me, interests me, and I just like to, divulge in all this information, all that history in there, and try and learn from all sides, and from this side as well, from the Russian side as well. So because it's a unique thing that we don't really see a lot on film from, that are released in the UK as from different sides, and this is certainly something that I do want to see.
Stephen, and just finally touching on the final part that I will mention is the fact that it discusses that even though the characters don't get fully fleshed out at any point in the movie, it's not that type of movie. I think it's quite quick-paced. I don't know the actual running time, but the vibes I get, it's a cat and mouse chase, quite quick-paced. But it says even though they don't flesh them out, you still connect to the characters in some way or the other. And I get that vibe from likes of Overlord as well, another World War II setting that had a unique sort of a fantastical setting or story. You can never really find time to flesh the characters out, but you connected with the unique traits and whatnot and what was going on within them. So that's another thing that's a positive for me. So I'm well on board for that. I will try and find this on perhaps Prime or whatnot and give it a bash.
So thanks for the memory there, Dave. But listen, that just brings us to the end of this week's blog rundown. I'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we will be back again tomorrow with the Force Friday show.